This table is fantastic.
Welcome to the...
I'll tell you. Okay. Hey, this is REDBAN coming to you live from Death Squad Studios for a brand new episode of Dead Air with Brian HOLTZMAN. Here's Brian.
Well, a little jazz to start off the show. There's nothing like a little jazz when you want to have a little sex. You can also masturbate to jazz, too. I know I do. Whenever I'm in the mood to masturbate, I put on a little jazz because, you don't want a voice. You don't want somebody singing while you're getting cracking a nut out. You just want to hear the instruments. You just want to hear the rhythm and the sound of your own hand up against your rigid member. Jazz. Yeah, I love jazz. They don't even use sheet music in jazz. They just keep going and going and going. Yeah. Welcome to the second episode of Dead Air with Brian HOLTZMAN. Brian REDBAN, my producer, craft services, engineer, booker, talent. And he does it all, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. I can't even use an iPhone most of the time. It's just a sea of wires and positive and negative and diodes and you name it, and I couldn't do it without him. So today's the second episode, and I'm very excited. I have two guests today. I have Princess Cory, the professional widow.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Mr. HOLTZMAN.
Okay, thank you for responding. And one of my friends who I've known for quite some time, Darren Carter, who I think I'm going to let him borrow my watch. Do you need a watch, Darren? First you said we said 3 o'clock for this. We're all excited about the second episode of Dead Air with Brian HOLTZMAN.
Yes.
And then we pushed it back to 4 p.m. And then I think you contacted Brian and said it would be 4:15. And then you waltz into the store, into the studio. What happened?
Yes, I did.
Do you usually show up to podcast late?
I do. I swear to God, I don't. He asked me the last night. He said, "Are you available tomorrow?"
No, if this is not something that you think is important.
No, it's super important.
We can go on with last week we didn't have any guests. So we can do it. I can just do Princess Cory and talk about her late husband and why she can't let him, rest in peace. She will not let this gentleman rest in peace.
Look, I'm straight A.
Is it true you have a shovel in your back of your car just in case you want to dig him up again?
I haven't buried anything for at least a month.
Right.
At least a month since I've actually buried a dead something.
We'll get to you.
So listen, I was like, I want to do your podcast so bad, and I told Brian, I said, I don't know, you know what? We'll figure it out. I have to be way out, like super further than I thought. Thousand Oaks, but even past the Ronald Reagan Library, and then. It's traffic.
That's what the fires were.
I know. I was way past the fires.
Where aren't the fires? Stop talking about the fires.
Right.
The whole state is on fire. It's old news. As long as you're not on fire, I could give a hell about some rich guy with a $6 million house that's on fire. I live in a mobile home. I live in a fucking trailer. Yeah. All right. So, yes. Darren.
Yeah.
What were you doing in Thousand Oaks?
I was, for my podcast, Pocket Party, I was interviewing Bruce Baum, and he lives out there.
Oh, you were doing your own podcast?
Yes.
And did you run overtime? Is that it?
Because afterwards.
And who is Bruce Baum? That's that famous comedian.
Yeah, he's a famous comedian, and afterwards I didn't want to be rude and just leave, but so he's like,
are you all talked out? Are you going to be?
No, I'm good. I'm very good.
You just come from a podcast with Bruce Baum, and what kind of guest are you going to be? Are you going to be able to talk about anything?
Just play some more jazz; it'll come back.
There I was, masturbating to music.
So how was it with Bruce Baum?
Oh, there he is, right there.
There he is.
Oh, you're on it. You're on it.
He looks like that rock star.
Yeah. I've always thought he looked just like that.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was great.
Does.
He gave that woman his sperm for the baby. Right? I'm having your baby.
Wait, who?
No, not him. It's Crosby. Yeah.
So it went well. You just had one guest.
It was great. Afterwards, he's like,
how long you been doing that podcast?
That podcast, 85 episodes. Yeah, I've been
Wow.
doing 85
So we're almost coming up to 100.
Yes.
Maybe I'll be your 100th guest. Would
I'd
you
love-
like that?
Yes, I would.
You bring the podcast over here.
I will. I will.
Bring that fucking podcast over here. I ain't going to Thousand Oaks, wherever the hell that is.
That's the thing. I live in Burbank. It's I make it as
there you
easy.
go.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
just so silly.
So Darren Carter is the party starter. I met him
Yes.
in 1996 or at
90
the Latino Laugh Festival.
Yeah, 95, 96.
Because
yeah.
both of y'all are so Latino. That's always my favorite part
All right,
about
all right.
your origin
I
story.
hope you're not going to interrupt us.
Oh, no.
You know, at the end of the day, we are men, and you are a woman, and I think it's important that you know your place on this podcast.
Goodness.
This podcast isn't 10 minutes old, and I'm already up to here with it. I just want to say,
What was a solo episode like?
you
lot more
look
calm.
wonderful, Princess Cory. Everybody see Princess Cory?
Oh, do I look wonderful?
How many leopards did you have to kill for that outfit?
Only
Oh, my
7.
God.
And I'm
Peter's
sorry.
gonna throw blood all over you when you leave the studio.
You already just did verbally.
Oh my God! No, we're happy to have you. So I'm
Thank
happy
you.
to have you. So
Thank you, my
remember
friend.
that
Thank you. Yes.
San Antonio.
It was great,
last
dude.
festival?
Brian Holtzman he's the same now as he was then, and he's fantastic, and he's gold.
Well, actually, I've had
Yeah.
my genitals removed, and now I'm a she-man. What bathroom do I use? I gotta go, but I don't know where. Oh my God! So it's just so wonderful. So what's going on with you? They call you we used to be the rooster.
The
now-
rooster.
now it's the-
Yeah. Then I shaved the head because the hair was going, and I'm like, how can you be a red rooster?
rooster.
I got thick hair, huh? Look how thick my hair
Yeah,
is.
dude.
I know, I
Yeah,
have
baby.
thick
Don't
hair.
rub it in. Don't
I have
rub
such
it in.
thick hair. You should see the hair on my balls if you see this is thick.
Oh.
Now listen.
Yeah.
Why don't you two tell the audience how I
great I
started
am.
my
Isn't
and I
great
heard, you on,
great?
Yeah.
I heard you on KLOS.
Don't take it from me.
I
Just
heard you
take
on-
it from them.
I heard you on KLOS. KLOS with
Thank you, sir.
Fraser Smith.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan of yours. You know
95.5
that.
KLOS.
Because you know you're
Yeah,
a great person. You're a great heart. I see your
Thank you.
your son. You have a son, and you have a wife, I guess. And,
Yep. 22 years.
And,
Yep.
do they have red hair? The son?
No, it's reddish in the sun when he grows it out a little
It's,
bit, but
it's a DNA thing. I think it's
Yeah.
a special chromosome. It has to be an XY, not a
Oh,
YX.
I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
And they have. It's like 1 in 1.5 million, and that's how you get. Look at his eyebrows.
Or red hair?
Even his eyebrows are red.
yeah.
If you were to take his pants down, Cory, you would see that his ball hair is red
Oh,
too. He's a
my-
natural redhead. Not like some of these women that dye their hair
Wow.
red. You pull them down, you see a forest of, not red.
You know, should I be taking notes about what women should be doing from now on? Because I speak for the women.
Well, do something over there. So.
Oh, we are in rare form today.
So,
Okay.
but
I don't know what happened.
No, everything's fine.
I want to see that Latino.
Is that a merkin?
Yeah, that's,
Wow.
that's Darren Carter. The
Hey.
Carter! Darren Carter!
I've always wanted a merkin.
How many podcasts have you been on? You must have been on about 1 billion podcasts.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but you know
You
what?
just do the rounds, huh?
Do the rounds and it's fun, and you know what? I love but if you're doing someone with REDBAN, you know it's going to be top level. He's going to have like good sound, good cameras, good gas.
Well, it's only
good
episode
hosts.
2. How do I know that?
Well, I know it because he's been in the business for a long ass time.
Yeah, but I want to know it for myself. I don't want to take it from somebody else. You know, there could be a circle jerk going on in Hollywood. Everybody's kissing everybody's ass.
Yeah.
I'll decide if REDBAN is right for me. This is only episode number 2, okay?
True, yeah.
Now look at that. Isn't that great? Leave that on the whole show, REDBAN. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
my
always
God.
wanted a merkin. I really have.
So Darren Carter is the one who got me. We were at Canner's one night, and Canner's hasn't been cleaned in 37 years. You know that. If you get a job at Canner's, they tell you can work here, but you can't wipe down any surfaces. You can't clean anything. You want to work at Canner's, you can't clean up. You cannot clean up. So, and you're the one who started me on this bullshit of doing a 60-second video.
And you're great at it.
You said
you're great at it.
You sold, and the light bulb went out, Brian. He said,
Went
"Hold
out.
No, the light bulb went on.
It went on. It went on. It went on. All right. I'm not the greatest speaker, okay? Helen Keller was not the greatest lover, okay? Let it go. Now listen, where are you? I want to have sex. Where are you? I'm over here, Helen. Helen, I'm over here.
Follow the jazz.
Yeah, follow the jazz. Oh, wow.
Charlie Parker.
I think this is starting to be this didn't start off well at all. Now listen.
Yeah, if he's gonna give me a
So you
pump me
told
up,
me,
get it right.
you said,
The light bulb went
Who was
on.
that guy you were with? I wanted to call him. I think he's
Big
still...
shout out to Bobby Khan.
Bobby Khan. Where is Bobby
He
Khan
goes
right
by.
now?
He's either Tarun Shetty, which is his real name, Tarun Shetty.
Oh,
or his-
yeah.
Or his comedy persona is a guy named Bobby Khan.
Yeah, Bobby Khan. He's probably in Silver Lake in the kitchen assembling an explosive device right now. Bobby
He be
Khan.
doing that?
What nationality is Bobby Khan?
His character or him as a person?
What's his nationality?
He's Indian. But
Oh, he's making a bomb. He's making a bomb.
Oh my
in Silver Lake
God! Oh
someplace.
my God!
He's from New Hampshire, but that wasn't going too well, so he's created this character
He's
called
a comic?
Bobby Khan. Yeah, he's doing great.
The
He's
last club
fantastic.
he was at, they had a fire that was suspicious. They didn't know what happened. Wherever he goes, there's a fire.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So you told me,
Yeah.
you said, a light bulb went off in my head. You said, Holtzman, it doesn't matter. See, I thought everything you put on social media had to be great, you know?
well, you would think.
Here's what I told you. Do you remember what I told you?
I'm going to tell you what I told you.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what you
he
told
told
me.
you. Mm-hmm.
You said, Holtzman, it doesn't have to be funny. And that's when the light bulb
I'm a
went
witness.
off.
I did hear
that.
that.
was right before I
I
put my hand.
You were there too, Cory. Remember?
I was there. I was there.
And the reason I remember it so well, I had put my hand down on the table at Canner's, and it was sticky. It was sticky like it hadn't been clean in like 100 years. It felt like a shoo-shoo booth, you know, where the door goes up and you relieve yourself in front of a strange woman for $2. It was sticky. It was like, I said, oh, is somebody going to clean this place?
I am learning.
I go,
so
Holtzman, I
much.
go, you're so good. You have to do. I go, you got to put something up every day. Put something up every day. I go, it's easy. I go, it doesn't have to be funny, and it doesn't even have to be good. And you were
That's
like,
when the light bulb went
Yeah.
off, when he said,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be good. I said, I can do that. I mean, I don't want to say retard because you can't. There's like a billion words now that you can't say.
Yeah.
Somebody who's mentally challenged, perhaps,
right.
could not be funny. Anybody can be funny, not funny. Right? And the light bulb went right off in my head, and I said, holy cow, I can do this. There's no pressure.
There's no pressure.
No pressure. No.
Yeah, and you're naturally funny, so you're actually really not even naturally funny. You're fucking really good, man. Like what you're doing, it's inspiring.
I don't want you know. I didn't
want
have
this
you
kind
on
of
this
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah, he did.
You know,
Yeah, he
milk the cow. You know, there's no milking cows here. We're not gonna hug after the
you
podcast.
see, but
I
that's-
see a lot doing podcasts.
Yeah.
It's like you have people like that at a wedding or a baptism, not at a podcast.
What,
Thanks for
reaching
coming to the
across the
podcast.
table
Bye
and
bye.
Yeah.
Reaching across the table and hugging, you mean?
Well, they do it in the hallway, or they do it after the podcast
Oh,
is
you're
over.
just
It's
like-
it's like, oh my god. You know,
Hey, come to my
oh,
podcast on
yeah.
Tuesday, and we'll talk, and then you'll hug me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
but hey, listen, I mean
Have you
it
been
though.
on?
Yeah.
Have you been on Dean Del Rey's podcast?
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna.
Killer. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna try. Can we get a picture of Dean Del Rey up there?
Do you want Dean Del Rey with the kissy lips?
Another
whatever you can.
episode of
I'm getting sick of
Dude,
looking at this
Carson.
shit. There's Dean Del Rey. I'm gonna try to get a hold of him on the phone today and see if I can go in there and say hello to him. He's a rock and roller.
Dude, one of the hardest working men in show business.
really
He knows all about music and
He's inspirational.
people who play the music. So that's what it was. Today is the 210th episode of my little rant.
Can
It's
you
not up
believe
yet.
that?
I should put it up. It's not on YouTube yet.
210.
Have you since you put him up? You've
Yeah.
been consistent.
I haven't missed a day, Darren.
No.
That's
That's
amazing.
amazing.
Wow.
No,
Haven't
did
missed
not miss a day.
That's
So I want to
great.
go over some items of
Can
interest.
I ask you a little bit
Go
about
ahead.
that? Or
Go ahead.
How do you
Go ahead.
How do you decide what to do that day? Does it come to you that day, or do
It's
you
called a
light
mind.
bulb.
It's called
The
a
light bulb
mind.
just goes off.
It's called a mind.
like the day? Like, do you know what you're gonna do tomorrow already? Or
When it,
thank God it's Wednesday.
Darren, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
All right, I don't want to talk about it.
Don't
Just let it go.
don't show everybody how the sauce is.
All right, some
Okay.
items of interest for the podcast. There he is. There's Dean Del Rey. Hey, buddy, that must be in New York. See the yellow cab? See the yellow cabs? That's New York. When you see a yellow cab, that's fucking New York.
There's trash on the ground too.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a lot of people. They're all from Europeans. They come there and they're very dirty, those Europeans. They just throw anything on the floor.
Wait a second. That's the same.
All right.
That's the
That's
same
mirrored.
mirrored image.
The New York State High School football coach was suspended
impressive.
for winning a game by too many points. Plain Edge High School defeated South Shore High 61-13, a violation of lopsided score policy. Suspended coach Rob Shaver pointed out that South Shore was previously undefeated and that the opposing coach, Phil Owasto, said he had no issues with how the game went. So here, what do you think of that? They suspended the coach because they scored too many points. Wow. Are we watering down the society as a whole? Are we poking our fingers through the toilet paper when we wipe our ass?
Can I just say something? If I was
I know
saying
you're going
something,
to. Go ahead.
No,
Go
if
ahead,
I was
Cory.
saying it,
Everybody
you would have
wants to hear
snored.
what you have to say, Cory.
As a matter of fact, they do. You would have started snoring if I would have been reading something like that because I felt my brain just kind of like trail off.
All right.
But I'm telling you, I controlled
Astronauts,
myself.
the news that the spaceship carrying cookie dough and zero-gravity oven is on its way to the International Space Station. Fresh-baked food could have a psychological and physiologically benefits to crew members, said NASA. Cookie dough and a cookie oven in space. Give me a break. Give me a break. What do you... first of all, how much do you have to hate your family to want to blast off into space? How much do you hate your wife that you want to be an astronaut and blast out of the fucking solar system? I hope we can beep all these curse words out.
You know how you're lighter?
Can you beep that
You know,
out?
you're
I hope
light,
you can
like
beat
with
the-
gravity, you're lighter in space. I wonder if they're just going to overeat like all that cookies and cookie dough because they're like,
And what are they going to do when it's time to dispose of all that cookie dough up in space? It's going to smell like a Denny's bathroom.
No, but also it's very dangerous because if crumbs get into things, it can be very detrimental.
Rebirth here. This is a rebirth. After the
think I
director of a
just
new
ignored.
film announced that the CGI, what is that CGI?
It's
Computer
intelligence-
generated.
Yeah, it's like computer-generated graphics.
Computer-generated intelligence version of James Dean,
I
dead
saw
since
that.
1955,
Oh,
will play a major role.
Yes.
We searched high and low for the perfect character. Oh,
Oh,
give
no.
me a break. So you dug somebody up? You know about digging people up, Cory.
No, I just put them in. I don't really take them
my
back out again.
God, director Anton Ernest, and after months of research,
Dude, it's hard to be an actor now. Now we're losing the dead people.
No,
we
and they do the
decided-
deep fakes.
we
the
decided
deep
on
fakes.
James Dean. Do you think this is proper? Let the guy rest in peace.
Well, he
what happened to-
died so young. He died so young. Maybe he wants to have a. Okay, my question though is who's getting the residuals for whatever he does?
His family.
And
is-
His family.
what happens if
Okay.
he wins an award? That was an easy question. You should have known who was going to get the estate. Of course, the estate.
Well,
What do you think they're gonna-
ideally.
Well, that was an
They
easy
actually,
question.
they actually approved of this.
No.
And I see both sides, but I think it would be kind of cool just to see how it would look if they bring back a James Dean character. Like the nerd in me.
It's creepy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's creepy. Now,
Didn't they do that on The Sopranos? Somebody died.
Yeah, the mother died.
The mother. Yeah.
Oh, really?
In Sopranos.
yeah, but she's still alive. She's not really dead.
No, she is really dead.
All right, this subject is getting off topic now. And when you ask REDBAN a question, I want it to be a good question. I don't want it to be a question that you should have known the answer to. I don't want to bother him with questions. Make it a good question, all right? He's busy. He's got wires coming out of his ass over there. I mean, this is holy. He's got cameras everywhere. This is not a.
I'm just keeping a little ticker over here. I'm just have
Spectix.
a little Brian
It's a
abacus.
bad week for after new data revealed
Keep it
last
up.
month was the hottest October globally ever recorded. Temperatures were 1.24 degrees Fahrenheit, warmer than the average from 1981 to 2010. Darren, do you believe in global warming at all?
I think it's naturally happening, but I mean, I don't know. What are we supposed to do about
No,
it?
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking you to task.
Okay.
We don't know.
We don't know.
And you know why we don't know?
Because we haven't been here long enough.
No. You know why we don't know?
No.
I'm waiting you to interrupt me.
Oh no! I am waiting to be
You know why
called
we
on
don't know?
very
I
patiently.
don't like people who say, "Well, I don't know. I'm not sure." And the reason is because you're not qualified to know. You're not a scientist. 99.99% of scientists say it's real. It's happening. Of course you don't know. You failed out of high school in 11th grade. You're dumb as a box of rocks. You were drunk the whole time you were in college. Right. You're a dumb knuckle-dragging asshole. Of course you don't know.
That's right.
No, I don't want to get excited about this, but
Not
I'm
me.
so sick of people.
He's saying you as in you.
No.
You in general. Not,
I
would
definitely
never say
did not
that.
think
I would
he
never
was
take
talking
my-
to me.
I would
I
never
definitely
try
did
to
not
run you
think
out of this podcast. But let me ask you this.
Yes,
you
there's
put your
global
car
warming.
in the garage and you close all the windows
Yeah.
and you turn it on. How are you going to feel in about 9 hours?
I live in an apartment,
Darren?
so I'd be good.
Oh, you live in a pocket. All right. I'm going to ask you to leave. I'm going to give you I'm going to ask you to leave this podcast. You're acting like Johnny Sanchez.
Hey, man, there's like 200 spaces. I'd be good. No.
Very funny. In that audience, he said he lived in a parking structure that was outside. See, that's why you're the party starter. That's why you're the party starter.
No, you're right. You'd feel terrible if it was a closed garage.
You
wouldn't
know,
feel
of
good.
course we don't know. We don't, it's like saying to somebody how to do a spinal tap operation.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think it would work. Well, it's not up to you to know.
Let me ask you this: do you like? I love plastic straws. Until they perfect it, I'm not into the paper straws.
Well, if I don't have a plastic one with me, I'll use the paper one. But you do have to watch out; they unravel.
Yeah.
At work, I have
Kinda
one in a
works.
big unsweetened iced tea, and I got a straw, and then I stick. If I don't drink it right
Well, it's
away,
not for lollygaggers. I mean, you either need to consume your
sucking.
drink
Yeah.
or.
Is there any way we can shut her mic off and then we can put it on when we want her to speak?
All right.
Okay, you loved it that I said
Okay.
lollygaggers.
This is something else here.
That was good.
This is something that bothered me since I read this. And you have a son. And how old is your son?
Austin Carter, 12 years old.
Oh,
And you love your son.
so cute.
You love your son?
Yes, I do.
You really
Shout
love.
out.
I guess you really love your
This
son.
is an interrogation right
Shout
here. Do
out
we
to
have a bright
Austin.
light?
Yeah,
But you love him, right?
I do. I love him. Yes.
Would you stop a bullet for your son?
Yes.
I don't know if I would do that. For my son, if I had a son.
You do have a son, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, I have a son, but I don't want to talk about it on this podcast. All right, Red Band, let's do this. Don't speak to me unless I speak to you, okay? Let's get some ground rules, all right? All right. When a Wisconsin first grader lost a tooth while playing a dodgeball-like game at recess and then lost the lost tooth, he was certain that the tooth fairy would pass him over. Principal Kurt Angel made sure that didn't happen. He wrote a letter to the tooth fairy on school stationery verifying that there is definitely a gap in the student's teeth and that was not there this morning. And so the fairy should pay up. I just figured I would make... What a principal. You got time to do that, principal?
Yes.
In case the tooth fairy was suspicious, the letter worked. The next morning, the boy found $1 under his pillow.
Oh.
Now, this kid is going to grow up with a paper asshole.
Oh my!
If he gets a parking ticket, he's gonna be a mess.
What did you get from the tooth fairy?
I'm just saying, I got knocked out a few times in growing up in school, and nobody, you just take your hard knocks. Life is gonna be different. You know.
Yeah.
This kid is gonna be baby, the baby and the kid right from the start.
Oh
Tooth
my
fairy.
God! You have to put them in a nice, soft place first. Let them experience nice, good life, and then throw them to the wolves.
He's gonna be in a dress in 6 weeks. I tell you right now.
Oh my
All
God!
right, here's another one. This is San Diego. They got problems with Mexicans. They found out that Mexicans have been able to use power tools to cut through the new border wall. And who's surprised? Mexicans can fix anything. They can do anything. They're the only ones in Home Depot. You ever see these people like Darren?
Right.
Darren, is it Darren Carter?
Darren Carter, party starter.
Yeah. You ever see people like Darren Carter or Red Band at Home Depot? It's all brown people. They're the only people who know how to fix anything.
There's something to that. We don't know how to use our tool. You do. You know how to do tools. I don't know how to do tools. I can barely name 5 tools. I don't even
Anyway.
think.
You know, I made a brown
I don't
person.
even think I could.
All right. Now
So I also speak for brown people.
This is a lie. I read this and this is a lie. A long distance runner who put the slogan "Jesus saves" on his race bib. If you don't know what a race bib is, you don't deserve to know what a race bib is.
It sounds racial.
And on his race bib, had his life saved by a name named Jesus. Tyler Moon was competing at a 10 mile. This is where my voice and the words start going in. This is,
all
this is
right.
when we're
It's
going to
all
stop reading if this continues. Oh, there he is. Look at that. REDBAN does it again. Look at that. Look at the graphics on this podcast. Look at that. Look at that.
Is that Cantinflas?
That's Chewy Castro from the Comedy Store. All right. So,
He used to get mad at me when I give, because at that time my car was an '84 Honda. It was a used car, and every time, obviously, for some reason, every time
Obviously.
is there any reason why you're whispering?
Oh, I don't know. I'll talk. Well, because I'm saying something kind of bad. All right. So Terry, Chewy, there he was.
You're telling like Chewy tales
no,
at
it's not
school,
that
so
bad.
you're like
Corey's
looking
a
around.
married man. Get your hands off his lap. Come on.
Both of my hands are right here.
So, anyways, every time you would turn the engine off and you'd restart it, the stations would all automatically reset to whatever weird things. And
that's
so they
terrible.
kept resetting to a Spanish channel, and he thought I was fucking with them. He's like, "Hey, man, I know what you're doing, man."
Hey, you can't park here, bro.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't park here, bro.
He thought-
You should have had a sandwich board. Who can park here?
No,
Chewy?
nobody break up in groups.
Only the people picking up certain objects can park here.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Can't park here, bro. So this
That's
guy
not,
says
that's not second podcast material.
Moon was competing at a 10-mile event in Minnesota when he suffered a heart attack. Fortunately, nurse Jesus Bruno was running behind him and was able to perform CPR until paramedics arrived. In the hospital, Moon was stunned to learn that his rescuer was named Jesus. The message on his race bib, Moon said, is pretty fitting after everything that happened. It's a bold-faced lie. They're both lying. These Jesus freaks, you can't trust them.
What?
I said it.
You
It's
said
my
it.
podcast.
You said it.
Oh, you think it was fake? You think the? Hey,
I don't believe it.
We're gonna plan this, and then.
Do you believe that a guy named Jesus got saved by a guy named Jesus
That's interesting.
on his
I know.
rice?
To make sure
It's a lie.
I think the odds are probably better than having red hair and red eyebrows.
Hey, wait, I have that kind of.
A pet cafe in China has caused an uproar among animal rights activists by dyeing dogs black and white so they look like pandas. Candy Plant Pet Cafe owner Lung Guang Kum Bang Guy said he draws about 70 visitors a day to see his 6 Chow puppies, which now look like pandas. For $280, he'll dye custom his dogs the same way. We wanted something novel. Look, bloop, bloop, said. The animal rights group, PETA. Oh, PETA, back off, PETA. What about all the cows that get killed every day for hamburgers? PETA doesn't say a word about the cows, Chickens and cows are okay to kill, but don't kill this and don't kill that and don't wear that and don't do that. Why, cows can't feel?
Is it vegan dye? I mean, what are they using to dye these
PETA
dogs?
goes too far. They need their funding need to be cut.
Oh, you're saying PETA.
Well, what did you think I was saying?
Peter.
Shut her mic off. Shut her mic off! All right.
Peter.
Well, I wasn't listening, and so then I thought you were talking about a guy named Peter.
Urged travelers to avoid his shop. Peter said to urge travelers to avoid his shop in Chengdu, saying, Lu exploits animals for a money-grabbing gimmick. Everything is exploited for a money-grabbing gimmick.
But do they look like pandas?
Yes, there's a picture right there.
Oh my God! Let me see that. Let me
Have
see
you been
that.
listening to this?
Yes. Yes,
What?
it's dogs that are dyed to look like pandas, but I didn't see it.
Well, what'd you think they were going to look like?
Wow.
I need my glasses. Wait,
They
that
really
does
do.
look like a panda.
Oh, now this is dead
Wow.
air. This is dead
That's
air
pretty
now.
cool. Well,
that's-
Are you happy because you broke up? Now it's dead air.
Oh, look, there
You
it
know
is.
what? If
Red
you
band
want
pulled it up.
something
There, there,
dead,
there,
if you
there,
want
there,
something
there.
dead,
Wow.
Brian, just come to me.
Oh, look at Red Band.
Oh
Look at
my
Red
God!
Band. Oh, I love Red Band.
Okay, that's
Look at that.
kind of adorable. I'm
Isn't
not
he
gonna
great?
lie.
Isn't he great?
Hey,
I am not
Kind
gonna
of
lie.
looks like Johnny Sanchez.
Johnny Sanchez.
No, is it a certain
Johnny,
kind of
it's
dog?
a blue Chevy, okay? Can you bring it around?
You're terrible.
Shout out to Johnny.
Hi, Johnny.
Rats behind the wheel. Scientists have taught rats how to drive in an experiment that could improve our understanding of mental illness in humans. A team at the University of Richmond in Virginia created a makeshift rat mobiles by fitting plastic containers onto electrified sets of wheels. The rats steered the vehicle by touching different parts of the copper wire and were rewarded with Fruit Loops when they drove forward.
Oh, no.
After months of training the rat, can we leave the rats alone? Leave the rats alone. There's Redban again.
I know, right?
This is technology.
I know, it's kind of amazing.
This shit
Like,
up so quick.
like I wish I had a red band in my brain that when I thought of something, it could pull up something that quick.
That's called a blowjob.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Hey now.
Hello.
Hey now.
Red Band, pull that up, Red Band, pull that up.
Let's leave the rats alone. Some business news.
I don't like the Fruit
That would
Loops,
be
though.
gross. I would not want to see a rat driving a car down the street. That would just freak me out.
I would rather have it be one of these cars than just running down the street.
That's
though.
true. At least, yeah. Yeah, you feel like you could
Yeah.
at least get away from that car.
I want to talk about something
My
serious
hair is
just
stuck
for a
in
second.
my toupee tape. Okay, so that's one. Costuming.
This is serious for my listeners and anybody who can hear this. There's a new scam going on, and the holidays are coming up. You've got to check your receipts if you use your credit card. You've got to check
Interesting.
your
Really?
receipts. What they're doing is they're ringing up your order with your credit card, and the clerk is punching in that you asked for cash back.
What?
Usually $20, and if you don't read your receipt, you'll be charged the $20 plus
I don't
the
like that.
cash advance fee.
That's smart. Because
So-
a lot of times,
Wait, are you,
there's been times I'm like, no, I don't need a receipt.
Snopes? Are you Snopesing it? I couldn't think
Started
of
already, Cory.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So, and what they'll do is the gentleman found it and said, I want you to take this off. And the clerk said, no, we can't take it off. You have to take the $20. So if that happens to you, the only thing you can do is tell them to cancel the entire order and start again if you wish to still do business with these people. I'd call the police. I'd call the police and have the clerk arrested, incarcerated, and given the death penalty.
Oh, I don't
It was up to me. So that's something I wanted to share on this.
So did you not just, it said no. It's a rumor.
Who said it? It's not a rumor. If there's a way to scam people, people will figure out how to scam people.
All
I don't.
right.
It was sent to me by my brother-in-law. I don't believe it's a scam. And even if it is a scam, I still want to let people know it's a good idea.
No, you're
to
right.
take
You're right.
receipts.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's coming from a good place.
Facebook is going to change their logo. Facebook is going to be in all capital letters now. And
I don't like it when it yells at me.
I like all caps. I hate
Yeah,
this
no, you definitely
lowercase,
like all
uppercase.
caps.
I
You
like-
are-
and I'm not shouting. Anybody who can hear my voice.
my God,
I like
you-
uppercase, all uppercase. Leave it like that. I double click the capital. I'm not shouting. I'm not shouting. I just like the way it looks. It's easy to read. There's uppercase, lowercase. You feel like you're back in school. Oh, that's a capital letter. That's a lowercase letter. I don't have time for that shit. I'm looking if I can spell what I'm saying, okay? All caps. I'm not angry.
Do you voice text or do you actually physically do it with your thumbs?
That's none of your concern. Now, here another business news. Me Too has struck again. We've got the McDonald's
go.
CEO who's been ousted by the company for having a consensual affair with an employee. Now, I had some relatives who worked for a company, and she fell in love with the owner of the company, or big wig, and they had a beautiful relationship, and they got married. I even think they had children. He was a much older man. She was a much younger woman. But some women like older men, and they had
And some men like younger women.
So I guess my point is, it's gone too far. I mean, everybody.
Well.
I mean,
At the
come
risk
on.
of not answering the correct way, I mean, where else are you going to meet somebody that you're going to fall in love with except at work? Right?
At the body shop.
The body shop.
What's the body shop?
It's a
Famous
strip club.
body. Tell him, put that up.
The car? The car shop?
The body shop. Everybody knows what the body shop is. You live in Hollywood? How long
Are you
you been
talking
living in
about? Are you
Hollywood?
talking about like the soap
Who are
place?
these guests? Who
Are you talking
booked
about
this show?
Wait, are you?
Rhino.
Is that a pickup place? The body shop?
No, he means like a.
Of course, you think they want to?
Oh, I thought he meant like where you get lotions and soaps. The body shop.
Shut her mic off.
Oh no, I did not know this was a thing. What is this? Where is this?
This is a
on the
famous
Sunset
body
Strip.
shop
No,
that's
it's
been
not.
there forever.
I've never seen it.
Across the street from the comedy store.
What? That's across the street from the Comedy Store.
Well, like
I've
one block
never noticed it.
Is that where Dublin's used to be, sort of?
It's
Like
next-
Oh, yes. I didn't know it was called the Body Shop. Okay, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do a little silent podcast, Cory, if we can. Nearly 40% of Americans' farm income in 2019 will come from the federal government. Farmers will collect $33 billion in aid, including payments to offset China's regulatory tariffs in the ongoing trade war. The farm bailout will cost more than double the 2009 auto bailout. $33 billion to give these farmers money. And people cry about giving that single mom working 3 jobs with 2 kids a welfare check or an assistant check. Mm-hmm. And these farmers are getting $33 billion. So I don't want to hear about a lot of people getting other people's business. That check that person is receiving from the government is between the government and the person receiving it. It's none of anybody's business. The check you get from Laugh-A-Lot Comedy Club in December, that's between Darren Carter and the company that paid you or the comedy club that paid you.
That's right.
It's nobody's business how you got that check.
Well, I think it's life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and to promote the welfare. I mean, this is like we live in a country.
Is there anything that you don't have an opinion on?
There's pretty much nothing that I don't know. So,
All right.
Feel free to ask me anything.
You're definitely going to be put on notice as a guest that we've had problems with. There's no doubt about it.
We have not had problems.
Entertainment now. Apple's
But we're
getting
about
into the
to have
director's
problems.
chair. They're going to get this clown that was the seaweed man or the Aquaman and those.
Oh, that guy. What's his name? Jason Momoa or
Yeah,
something?
he's Hawaiian or Samoan or
Yeah,
something. He's
something.
A mimosa.
I think he's half Puerto Rican, half Hawaiian, half Samoan. He was in a shipwreck and he didn't know where to swim. So they picked him up in the middle of the Pacific and just
You know where to
there he
swim.
is. So Apple Entertainment, we need more content. Everybody knows that. I read an article that they're running out of actors and actresses in Hollywood, and they're bringing in India, actors and actresses from India.
Well, they're bringing in James Dean.
And bleaching their faces.
What?
Whoa.
So they look Caucasian.
Wow.
So watch out for that.
Wait. They're running out of actors and
There's
actresses?
so much content out there. They can't find anybody to pass an audition. And you were in Get Shorty.
Yes, the sequel to Get Shorty is called
Woohoo!
Be Cool with John Travolta.
Yay!
That was cool.
That's awesome.
And you played the rental-car
Played the
representative.
rental car guy, yeah.
Yeah, I
at the
saw it.
beginning. You're a good guy.
I was so
Thank
happy
you.
to see you.
Thank you.
It's the big time. It's a major motion picture.
It was amazing. Like to see yourself on a big screen in a movie, like, wow, it's like I'm right there. It's so cool.
And wherever it plays all over the world in all the different languages, you will be compensated.
Yeah, people-
Harris Pete said it.
Yep.
He loves royalties. He loves royalties. It's you move the box once, and then every day or any time somebody moves that box again, they pay you.
But wouldn't it be terrible if for the people that didn't get residuals? You have to fight for the little man. Listen to me. Right?
Shut her mic off.
Oh, my
Shut her
gosh.
mic off. I'll give you permission to shut her mic off.
What? Who is this non-gentleman sitting across
Would
from
you
me?
please, Cory? I thought you were going to just be a nice guest. I didn't think you were going to be a combative guest.
I'm not being
There's enough
combative.
combative women in the world. I didn't expect you to be combative in the podcast.
I'm
And
not
I'm not
being
saying
combative.
you're combative, but by saying I'm not being combative, you're combative. Darren, let's talk to you a little bit more. We haven't really talked to you. So what, you go on.
Can I tell them about your Latino Laugh Festival taping?
Oh, yeah, I want to hear that.
It's going to be a nice thing.
Go
I
ahead.
know you don't like nice compliments, but
Go ahead.
do you remember that you did it twice?
Go ahead.
Okay, can I just
This
tell?
must be a feedback. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say go ahead more than once.
Oh, okay. So
Go ahead.
The way I remember it, I could be wrong, but I remember Mitzi Shore was there for the Comedy Store, flew out to San Antonio. She loved you. And you went out, and for some Brian does his style, man, and when it hits, it really hits. But that time, I don't think it quite hit at first. And they
What
didn't
was
know-
the show called?
Latino Laugh Festival. It was on Showtime. And I remember, like, I think Paul Rodriguez
Is it
came out.
HBO or Showtime?
I think it was Showtime's Latino Laugh Festival. It was the first time I was ever on TV. And Paul came out, you know what? We're going to let this guy, you guys, let's show some respect, okay? He's a funny vato, okay? Because you went off on them, and it was hilarious. You called them, the audience was all Latino. It's in Texas, and it was called Latino Laugh Festival.
They
And you
took
were-
it serious.
Yeah, and you were like, you Filipinos? You were calling them Filipinos.
I
and-
told him, I said,
was
I know
hilarious.
this is a Latino Laugh Festival because after using the men's room, I noticed that the paper towel dispenser had not been touched.
And they were like, ooh.
Wait, what year was this?
1995 or
Yeah, I
six?
think
And I
you could
also
say that,
said,
1995.
this is not a Latino comedy festival. This is an INS raid. Everybody in the bus.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
didn't find the humor in that.
Are you?
I was
Did
trying-
you seriously say that?
Why not?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to say things and pull people's leg, and
Right,
they didn't
right.
want their legs pulled.
Yeah, so they had to cut the tape, and Paul came out and goes, you guys, we're going to start the cameras over. He said, you know what? Yeah. He was like, this Camacho, he's funny, okay? It's all in humor, all right? Yeah, dude, it was so freaking funny,
Oh
man.
my God! Well,
Yeah.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
Kanye West, what's his name?
Kanye.
West.
Kanye West.
Kanye West is a newborn Christian now. He's praised God last week for helping him kick his full-on porno addiction, speaking about the religious transformation that inspired his new gospel album, Jesus is King. West said his porn habit began when his father left out a copy of Playboy when West was 5. 5 years old and a Playboy. 5 years old, you got to be at least 14 to start having sex.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you're going to look at the 5-year-old's not going to know anything about that.
Yeah, he's gonna think he's at the beach.
Right.
It affected almost every choice I made for the rest of my life, he said. When his mother
that's
died in
pretty deep.
2007, West said other people might have drowned themselves in drugs. I drowned myself in my addiction. Now devoted to Christianity, West asked colleagues not to have premarital sex while they worked on the album. I just thank God for saving me physically, mentally, spiritually, he said.
I mean, that's like Liz Estrada,
It's a phase.
like getting everybody
It's
to
a
not have
phase.
sex.
It's just a phase.
Bieber's going through that also, right? Justin Bieber?
Really?
Yeah, he's like all super religious now also.
Yeah, but he's not talking about it anymore. It's a phase. Still grow out of it. It's like I know a few lesbians growing up in high school that grew out of it. And,
They just grew right out of it.
well, they just grow out of it. It's a phase. It's just like that guy who bumped his head with the motorcycle. What's his name? The actor?
Oh, yeah. Big Teeth, Gary Busey.
He was doing that men's group speaking there with Phil Coliseum's men's speakeasy.
Oh,
or
wow.
Speak Together in Love. It was some
Wait,
kind
what
of-
was it?
Promise Keepers?
Promise Keepers.
Is that what it
there
was?
you go.
What
ding,
is
ding,
that?
ding, 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 ding. We have a winner.
Wait,
we have a
what is
winner.
it? What is it?
Wait, that's two that I got right. I'm like, dude,
And
I was in
I
the
know,
audience.
right?
No.
Oh, you should you should have like a quiz portion of the show. All right, no, never mind.
So that's a phase. I think he'll grow out of that. You know, these people. When you talk to people about your religious beliefs, it's a phase.
But wait, was he not allowed to have sex with his wife?
I don't know. That wasn't in the article. I don't know what that question was. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Again, we'll discuss the
adore
booking
you,
of this
Brian.
particular podcast
I adore
afterwards.
you. You're so
Now,
sweet.
good answer. See, that's all we want. We
That's
want you to
all
be
we want.
compliant and complacent, just like a worker in
Do
a
I
factory.
get a washer and dryer?
You do.
Oh,
But
So you know what? I think she dresses like she's from the past, but she has this modern attitude, and I think that throws you, right?
it just throw me.
No.
It's a little bit- it's a little
I
disheartening.
have a kind of a dual. It's very complex actually because I do have this vintage sensibility. You know, like I'm a female, right? Like I'm a flower. You know, like this is a bee, for
Is she
example.
still talking?
Yes, but I'm not going to get mad at the bee for trying to pollinate the flower.
Oh, I like that.
Right? I mean,
Interesting.
like that's a very old-timey way of thinking.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that, Cory. I really appreciate it. But what I was saying is
Pollinating the
everybody
flower.
knows
Yeah.
there's nothing more personal than your sex life and your religious beliefs. I think you can agree with me, Darren.
Yes. Yeah.
So when anybody starts piping off about their beliefs and their Christianity,
Yeah.
it just loses all credence. And that's my opinion. I know there are not a lot of listeners out there who probably think, well, that's a terrible thing to say. But it's a private, it's like that guy selling the pillows with that
My pillow.
with that cross,
you don't
with
like
that
him.
cross hanging out of his shirt when he's selling the pillows.
Right? All right, hold on. I have
Put
mine.
that cross away. You're
When
trying to
he's selling
get us
the
to buy
pillows?
the pillow because we saw the.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, do you
Yeah.
think that's what
Yeah.
he's doing?
Oh, you have a cross.
Yeah, I have a cross,
have
but I
that
keep
too.
it. I keep it inside. I'm not selling pillows with it hanging out. What's his name? What? There he is. There's the cross.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
the cross.
I've never noticed that before.
Put your cross away, or I'm not buying the pillow.
It's a
That's
shitty
it.
pillow, also.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. I've had like
always
3 of them.
wondered.
I had 3 of them, threw them away
Oh,
immediately.
I'm
They claim-
so sad to hear
Did you
that.
buy those pillows, or are they like a gift of something?
No, I bought them because I was like, I fell for it,
I
and
think
then
maybe
they
you
were
know what
horrible.
the problem is.
Yeah.
I think what the problem is, and this is no offense. I want you to take this as constructive criticism.
Okay.
Because there's probably a lot of listeners that feel the same way. Just say something, and then, like you just said to Brian. Oh, I'm so sorry. Just say, Brian, I'm very sorry, and then cut it.
Really?
You drag it on too long,
You're
and I think
so
that
New York. That's exactly
annoys
why I
me.
didn't
It annoys
listen.
me. I know it annoys Darren. It probably annoys the pillow guy through the fucking television right
Oh
now.
my God.
Just say, Brian, I'm sorry that happened. Not Brian. Oh,
I will take your
I'm sorry
constructive
that
criticism.
happened.
I will take that constructive criticism.
More than ever in a podcast situation.
Absolutely.
In real life, Cory, we love the way you sound in real life.
No.
But
I will
with
definitely take
microphones,
that.
You got to edit. You got to edit.
Got it.
Nobody likes people who can't edit themselves.
No, I agree.
I've worked for how many people that just, you ask them a question, you could ask them what time it is, and it's 20 minutes. And they're talking. You leave the room. You go to another, you go around the building.
Okay, I apologize for that too.
By the
I
way,
apologize
this is
for that,
Brian. I've
too.
known Brian for how many years now? This is him in 2019. This is him in 2009 to 1999.
I know, he hasn't
One time he
changed.
asked me a question, and
Hasn't
like
changed a bit.
it was back in '97 or something in the parking lot in the Comedy Store. You go, "How was it?" You cornered me in a good way. You go, "Tell me how it was." It was like a gig or something. I go, "It was kind of weird. Weird. Ghosts are weird. Tell me how this gig was." And I was like,
I hate that word.
Yeah,
weird.
he hates that word.
Weird. It's
Yeah.
not weird. Weird is something weird is like that. And when people say,
Awesome.
it is what it is.
Oh, I hate
it is what it is.
How about everything?
I shot the baby in the head. Oh, it is what it is. The baby took a bullet. It is what it is. Oh, I hate that. It is what it is. It's a cop-out. You can say something more definitive about what's happening without saying, oh, it is what it is.
How about everything happens? Do you hate that? one?
Everything happens for a reason. Yeah, that's the reason I'm never going to talk to you again. Okay, let's get to
It
the
is what
sad
it
part of the
is.
show.
Just saying.
This is the obituary section of the show, and we
Oh, do you need
lost
me to read that?
Robert Evans. We lost Robert Evans, who was a phenomenal person. Maybe I could just read a little bit of his obituary. It's kind of longer than probably we have time for. Brian is the producer. You can stop me at any time. Robert Evans, 1930 to 2019. Tanned, toned, and fueled by mountains of cocaine, Robert Evans was the Hollywood producer. His show business lore that when Evans' housekeeper brought him his breakfast each morning, black coffee and cheesecake, it would include a note with the name of the woman sharing his bed, just in case he had forgotten it.
Wow.
But for
Cheesecake
all his high
and
living,
beefcake.
what Evans cared most was spinning cinematic gold. You know, they have to use big words in these obituaries. I don't know why they have to use such big words. Excuse me. After taking over production of a faltering Paramount Pictures in 1966, Evans rolled the dice on up-and-coming talent and risky scripts, backing films such as Rosemary's Baby, Chinatown, and The Godfather, that were critical as well as commercial successes. We went for original, Evans said. Something that Hollywood doesn't really know anything about today. Originals. There's another Charlie's Angels coming back. I can't wait to get my pre-sale tickets for Charlie's Angels. Yeah. Come over here, Charlie. Tell me, you're going to hurt me? I'll break your fingernail. You know? Anyway, we fell on our asses on some of them, but we also touched magic. Born in New York City to a homemaker mother and a dentist father, Evan spent his teens chasing and catching Broadway showgirls and acting in radio shows, said the Washington Post. At age 20, he became a partner in Evan Pecan, a woman's clothing line, Cory, co-founded by his brother, and was on a sales trip to Los Angeles when he was spotted lounging beside a Beverly Hills pool by Norma Shearer. The widow. Hey, this is about widows. You got to watch out for those widows.
Uh-oh, I'm all ears.
Widows are they're very extremely, not you, but
No,
in general, widows
of course.
are very, very,
Very-
horny women.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going with that.
They're very horny. You know, I this is what I've heard. Don Barris told me that. And
It makes sense.
the
It
widow
makes
of
sense.
legendary Metro Golden Mayer producer Irvine Thunberg. Oh, this is getting tiring here. Shearer thought him a dead ringer for the late husband and insisted he play Thunberg in the Long Chaney biopic Man of a Thousand Faces, 1957. After an unremarkably acting career, Evans went back to fashion and made a fortune when Revlon bought his company, said The Guardian. Intent on becoming a producer, he began buying... It's almost over, ladies and gentlemen. Intent on becoming a producer, he began buying the rights. This guy's a really big wig in Hollywood, so I think I owe it to him.
Yeah, his audiobook is supposedly very famous.
I'm going to read the whole thing. I'm going to finish it.
No, his voice, though.
You know, there's a lot of
have him
podcasts
read
you
it.
can choose. You don't have to listen to this particular podcast. And if you can't just sit down and let me finish this obituary, well, maybe this isn't the podcast for you. You know, you're going to have to do a little soul searching. You're going to have to get quiet and just decide if this is a podcast for you.
This is how your mind works. So we want to hear how your
How
mind
come
works.
you talk every time I finish talking and he doesn't? And he's the comic. That's why everybody wants to know, Cory. But you're doing a great job. But I have to bring it up. I can't candy coat it. The people listening to this podcast don't want to be baby made love to.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
He began buying the rights to hot novels, and his vision soon caught the attention of executives at Gulf and Western, the conglomerate that had recently bought debt-laden Paramount Pictures. So Paramount was not always very successful. Hollywood was shocked by the 36-year-old novice hiring, said the Los Angeles Times, but Evans silenced the doubters. I'm sorry. I really should have paid attention in class. Sliced the doubters by taking Paramount from last place to number one. This must have been one of the flops, huh, Brian?
Yeah, Popeye with Robin Williams. I actually liked it as a kid, but
I did too. I remember Robin Williams. I heard him talk about it once on a talk show. He said it was. He goes, it was box office poison. Yeah. I never heard that phrase before. Box office poison.
Yeah.
He said he made some joke about it. He goes, if it was the in-flight movie, people were wanting to get off the flight.
Go ahead, Cory. I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
Oh no!
He
were you
said something.
inside my
No,
brain?
I want you to say something because I don't want to feel like I'm bullying you.
No, you're not bullying me.
We're going to be fair to sit-down urinators on this podcast, just like we're going to be fair to males. Okay, where was I? But Evans silenced the doubters by taking Paramount from last place to number one among the major studios, which is very difficult to do. His personal excesses eventually proved his downfall. Evans became an industry pariah after his ex-girlfriend, a cocaine trafficker, was charged in the 1983 murder of Roy Redden,
Wow.
an investor in Evans' 1984 flop, The Cotton Club. Still, Evans made a brief comeback as a producer in the 1990s and in 2002 narrated an acclaimed documentary about the exploits of the kid stays in the picture. His final Twitter post was a kiss-off to his critics. I bet your ass I've done more in the last month than you in your entire life. Let me read that again. I bet your ass I've done more in the last month than you in your entire life. So,
Wow.
What a life he had. He lived it to its fullest.
Wow.
Somebody can do the math for me. 1930 to 2019. That's got to be old.
Wow.
That's got to be 30. He's got to be in his 90s, early 90s. Somebody do the math.
89.
How much?
89.
89.
Okay, thank you. I cannot do it that fast. 89 years old. And it's so difficult to get out of the 70s, as everybody knows. That's why when somebody turns 80, it's such a big event.
Yeah.
Because it's terribly difficult. Go ahead, Cory.
No,
Princess
whenever,
Cory.
whenever.
Go ahead.
No,
I saw your hand. Go ahead.
Didn't they have the new
you all right,
scenes?
Darren?
New
Yeah, no,
scenes?
I'm
You
just
seem to get a little melancholy on this.
No, I got a
obituary.
little when you said the thing about the 80s and the 70s, I was just like, wow, it's interesting,
What in what relation?
Interesting.
Explain yourself.
Interesting that it's I've heard that before for men
Oh,
to
the
reach
death rate.
Yeah, that's
oh,
what I'm
yes.
talking about. Yeah.
Late 60s, men. And then the 70s alone. Everything starts to go south in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then to get to the 80 and then still be healthy and press on for another decade or so.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful life. What were you going to say, Princess Cory?
Oh no! Didn't they just uncover new scenes for the Cotton Club? Is that something that happened? I think they're going to recut it and reshow it.
No one has any information on that, Cory, but we'll look into it. Okay, we're almost done with the items of interest. No, I have no idea.
No.
I have no idea.
No, I just heard that. Maybe it's not.
Okay, this is my favorite. This is wit and wisdom. Some of you can understand, some of you can't understand. At first, we want life to be romantic, later to be bearable, finally to be understandable. That's from a poet by the name of Louis Bogan. Love does not consist in gazing at each other, but in looking outward together in the same direction.
Ooh.
Writer Antone.
Ooh, I like that.
Curiosity is one thing. Indivisible is nature. That one's kind of hard to figure out, for me anyway.
Yeah.
Happiness is a way station between too much and too little. That one I like.
Ooh, say that again?
It's about being humble. It's about being comfortable with what you have now, not striving for what you want to do or have or get, and not be looking about what was in the past. Too many people are still crying, going through life crying about their childhood, just crying. They just can't get over it. There's no manual for your parents. Your childhood is over. Over! Get on with life. People can't get, parents are just parents. They don't know how to do it. People go to therapy just because they feel that their parents didn't treat them well. So what? You still got a life. You're still alive. You can go to Denny's. You can just do stuff. You can get married yourself and have sex and have a family. People are living in the childhood woes.
Can I
But
say
that's- yes, of course.
when you said the thing about the
You
happy
don't have to ask to say anything, Darren.
Okay,
Let me
cool.
just get that
Yeah,
straight.
good.
Corey has to ask
It's all right.
because Corey sits down when she urinates. You go ahead.
It's all right.
Hey, so
It's my lot in life.
can you read that happiness quote again? I love that happiness quote. Can you do?
Yes, I will. Happiness is a way station between too much and too little.
I love it. And also when you said that, my mind went to food, because when you eat too much, you're like, this, I'm happy, and I'm going to eat more and more pizza. Let's just say pizza. Another slice, another. And then what happens is you cross over, and then you're not happy anymore, but you don't realize it as you're doing it.
That's
You
I've
know?
been having a lot with problems
Moderation.
with overeating myself.
Moderation.
It's you know what I love about back to your Instagram. I got to say this. I love that you celebrate things that are out there where I'm like Denny's. We take Denny's for granted. You're like, no, Denny's is great. It's a nice
It's
meal.
America's cafeteria.
It's the best.
It's America's cafeteria. It's always open, so you never have to worry about them throwing you out. Cantus is not 24 hours now,
No.
They close at 3, I think. Right?
Yeah, weekends I think they are. But it's always
It's
open.
expensive too. It can be expensive if you go there hungry.
And it's Denny's.
Yeah.
You know, you know what you're getting. I had an omelet that was really runny at Denny's, so I went back and I just didn't order the omelet.
Yeah.
And I got scrambled eggs, well done.
Yeah.
You know, it's just Denny's.
But you didn't send it back.
Oh no.
Oh yeah,
I
I never send food.
You're gonna eat again.
Yeah.
Right.
People think it's
Yeah.
their last meal. Oh, this is not what I want. This is then stay home and eat. Make it yourself and stay home.
Yeah.
People just love finding fault in everything and anything. You're going to eat every day 3 times or more for the rest of your life. You know? So one meal isn't. It's like when
3
you call.
times is too
It's like when you call old people on the phone and they're saying, "Oh, I'm right in the middle of lunch. I'm right in the middle of dinner." I said, "You're going to be dead in about 4 hours.
Oh my
what do you
God.
care?
Oh my.
Somebody's taking the time to call you, and your whole world revolves around your lunch or your dinner.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
reheat it, you old bag of skin."
Oh my God. That's not nice.
Yeah. You made it to your 80s. Let's talk.
Okay.
Right.
I take it back. No, old people are nice. They,
I love old
they
people.
age like a fine bottle of wine, or they're just a box of cats. You know, they're just horrible. They're horrible. Especially
heard that,
white
a box
men.
of
I don't know what it
cats.
is with white men in this country. They get to a certain age and they hate everyone. They hate everything. They got issues with this. They got issues with that. They don't like this. It's like they're pissed off that they're getting old. Nobody told them that they were going to get old, you know? This country is full of old, middle-aged white men that are angry. I don't know what they're so angry about, but they'll tell you, and I know why they're angry, but I'm not going to go into it on this podcast. They're angry about a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with their dumb ass.
Hey, can I just think? I just thought.
You don't have to ask,
All right.
Darren.
I got another one. I got another classic bit that I remember. Man, it was around 1996. There was the Unabomber. He was sending out these packages.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
And Holtzman would hit the stage, and I remember you'd say something like, "Let me get something straight here. You get a package. You don't know who sent it to you. You don't know what's in the package. And you open up this package, and then, and you go, oh, what I do is I go to the Beverly Center and I give it to a homeless guy, and I go around the corner and I peek around the corner, and if I hear kaboom or whatever, or something like that, it's hilarious.
All right, I'll read that once again for
my
you,
gosh.
Darren. Happiness is a way station between too much and too little.
No, I like
Too little. Playwright Channing Pollock, quoted in the Associated Press. Okay, I have 3 more. One need not be a chamber to be haunted. One need not be a house. The brain has corridors suppressing material place. So this is a poet that's probably on some kind of drugs. If you can't understand after reading what the poet says, that poet is a drug addict. He's a cross-dresser. Maybe he's not comfortable with his sexuality. Maybe all the other poets are in first class and he's in coach because he's a stupid-ass poet that nobody understands.
Your brain is like a
Yeah, let's read it again. Let's read it again.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
a
gonna
drunken
follow.
poet. This is leaving Las Vegas.
He's-
There's the Unabomber.
Not moderation.
He didn't look like that in real life. He looks like a movie star in real life. That's the Unabomber, but kind of close, kind of older. One need not be a chamber to be haunted. One need not be a house. The brain has corridors suppressing material place. Yeah, this guy's in a mental hospital probably. He's probably on Skid Row now looking for needles.
Oh my God.
All right, here's one.
Or a public beach.
The spirit of liberty. There he is. There's Ted. Let's have a big hand for Ted.
Are we supposed to clap?
He's one of those white men in America that were terribly angry about something.
Technology, I think, right? Or something.
I think he was a professor.
I don't know.
And they didn't give him tenure or something. He wanted to go on a sabbatical. You know how they go on sabbaticals?
Yeah.
And they go have sex with European teenagers. And
Oh, is that? I didn't know.
and they
that's
got
what
denied. And okay, the spirit of liberty is the spirit that is not too sure it is right. I understand that one. The spirit of liberty is the spirit that is not too sure it is right. Which means question, question, question. Am I keeping you awake, Darren?
Yes, you are. Yes, yes.
Because you already had a podcast, so you're probably...
No, this is good. I'm
And
taking
that's
this
a
in.
beautiful T-shirt. I like the way that hangs off your
Thank
shoulders.
you. Yeah, I've been doing that exercise, the push-ups and stuff.
Yeah, I know. I got to get back into it.
You know what you
How
do?
many push-ups you do a day?
It varies, but I've been doing abs every day because I need to
How many
keep that.
abs? How
No,
many?
not that many. You know, like
Give me a number.
50, maybe
50.
more.
Joe Rogan does
So-
25,000.
Yeah. Wait, I got one for you. Maybe this light bulb will go off on you again, or on.
Oh, nice. Nicely done.
Okay, so you know how you
Nicely done.
This
That's
is-
it. Cut it. Not nicely done.
Oh my God.
Nicely done.
Okay, okay.
Nicely
All right.
done.
Cruz, are you hearing this? Because she also gave
Go
me the
ahead.
same note.
So you know how you do the posts every day, right?
Right.
You have 222 or something like
Today's
that.
210.
210.
So here's the thing. So here's a new thing for you. All you got to do,
Talk to Brian about this.
just do.
Talk
tw-
to his direction.
Here's what I do: 25 push-ups, 25 sit-ups. Don't do any more than that. Just see if you can do 25 push-ups, 25 sit-ups every day. That's not too many. Can you do that? I mean, just
You were talking about the Instagram, weren't you?
no. I don't know what this is, but
Yeah.
is this dog shit? It's fake dog shit.
That's what he thinks. That's what he thinks
All
about
right.
that idea. He's like,
Don't you think, Brian? If
No,
you
no,
did-
no. I got
Yeah, I
the
mean,
things. I got the
if
handheld
you did-
things. I got all the equipment. I got one on the deck. I
Just
got
do
one
20
inside.
yeah.
I got one at work. I got them all over the place.
15
but they're
in
not
the
being
morning.
used.
I know. Here's the thing. We'll make it simple. 15 in the morning, 10 at night,
Yeah, I got to start it.
or not, whatever.
I don't want to get.
no, I like that.
You want to be like me and Joe Rogan?
The last one is,
Yeah.
I want my children to have all the things I couldn't afford. Then I want to move in with them. That's actress and comedian Phyllis Diller.
That's
Oh,
great.
I love that.
Okay, and the last thing is,
Cruz, get ready.
the last thing I want to bring up is tip of the week: how to choose a new TV. This should be interesting to all our listeners, and I guess how to choose a new TV. LCD versus OLED. There really are only two types of TVs. Most use LCD, liquid crystal display. Though you'll see variations such as OLED and LED LCD. The alternative is OLED, organic light emitting diodes. Those always have the better picture and a higher price. Screen size. A 65-inch screen is as big as you need if you are sitting 8 feet away, though 43 inches is a better bedroom size. Never buy a screen bigger than the distance you'll sit from it. Once again, this is very important for you people in the market for television.
That's good. I didn't know that.
Never buy a screen bigger than the distance you'll sit from it. I can't emphasize how important. You ever go in somebody's apartment and they got a 65-inch television in a studio apartment?
It's like an IMAX
You bump your
experience.
elbow on the TV going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay. Screen resolution. Most TVs sold today have 4K resolution, 4 times the detail of an old 1080 what's it? PIXEL? How do you say that?
Pixel.
Pixel high definition TV. Don't buy an 8K set yet, because those are comparable content. There's no comparable content, which means you're buying a TV that there's no content that has that technology to service that TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
So much sense.
And they probably haven't figured out all the like what's going to be standard. Also, that when 4K first came out, everyone bought 4K TVs, and then like a year later, they were like, "Well, that's not what 4K is going to be. We have this new version of 4K," and so like all the old people that bought it early got fucked. You know,
Yeah.
so it's
They bought a car
Yeah.
without wheels.
right.
All right. And refresh rate. Refresh rate. Seek a refresh rate, and I'll have Brian explain this later. Seek a refresh rate of 120 Hz or higher, up to 240 if you are a sports watcher or play video games.
Yeah.
So what's a refresh
What is
rate?
that?
Refresh rate's how many times the pitcher, like if a tennis ball is going across the screen, it's how much it's like how many frames it's showing the tennis ball. So if you watch a lot of sports, there's a lot of motion. You want as many frames to make it look better. So, if you're not a sports guy and you're just watching, like, say you're a news guy, you don't need a high fresh rate because the guy's just sitting there. He's not moving at that much. So you're not going to notice. Oh. The picture is going to look a lot better.
So you can tell with the naked eye?
It's a lot smoother. So instead of it's like, whatever.
So is a television with a high refresh rate?
So the lower it is, the more it's going to look blurry and like not as smooth.
See, this is great.
Wow.
See, when I bought my last TV, I went to Target and just picked out a TV that was on sale, a Samsung. Mm-hmm. But
nowadays,
that's actually really good information.
Given this information, you can really. I want a refresh rate because you don't know when you're going to see.
Yeah.
You don't know when you're going to be watching a sporting event.
Well, nowadays the TVs are all so good that it's really hard almost to buy a bad TV. Honestly, I would always just go to Best Buy, find a Samsung or a Sony, or pick a name that you know, and just get a 4K TV.
Samsung is Korean, right?
Yeah,
and they're doing better than Sony now. Remember, Sony used to be the benchmark.
Yeah, Sony makes a good product, but honestly, Samsungs are pretty good nowadays.
Those Koreans are coming on like gangbusters.
And when we were kids, we used to have a Zenith. Did you remember?
Oh yeah,
Zenith.
Yeah. Did you have like UHF on the? Did you only have like 4 channels in UHF?
Got to turn it.
So this is good news. Thank you, Brian, for that. And the price. Price for an OLED. An OLED is organic light emitting diode. For an OLED, expect to spend about $3,000.
Oh.
But there are many good 4K TVs in the $500 range, and that's exactly what you were saying. Mm-hmm. Most televisions, it's hard to buy a bad television.
It's hard to buy a bad TV nowadays. Yeah, really.
And they're so light compared to how they used to be. When you were moving back in the day, that was one of the heaviest items. It was like the big television. And
it's the worst. I had one of those Sonys, and Sonys were notorious to be like the heaviest ones, like the big.
With the big humpback.
Yeah, with the big back.
With the lights in the back.
It was like 200 pounds, back in the day.
You definitely need help maneuvering that inside and outside the residence. A shout out to the 49er fans. I saw the game. I was disappointed that kicker choked. He could have won the game for the 49ers. It was the second possession they had in the overtime, so they both had their chance at it. And the poor young fella, he pulled it left. He hooked it. And he lost the game for his team, so that was terribly sad. I'd like to see them go, because I got this 49er jacket. I'll tell you the truth. I got this 49er jacket at a garage sale. You know the ones that they use when it's like 40 below or snowing?
Yeah.
The big parkas, 49, and it looks brand new. I think it cost me $20. So I want them to go all the way just so I can wear my jacket,
Yeah.
And they were,
now you're speaking my language.
Only undefeated team, and now that's not the case. So that was too bad.
Does it get too hot, that jacket, like in L.A.?
I haven't worn it yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting for it to get a little colder.
I was just in New York and Washington, D.C. this weekend, and man, you forget it. It's freezing as fuck, outside of L.A. Like, it was like 35 degrees at one night.
As soon as you walk out of the jetway, you feel it, right, Brian?
Yeah.
Right out of the jetway, you go, this is not my L.A. This is not my L.A.
No.
You want the forest fires back. I'll take the forest fires any day. These people want to live in the wilderness, and their house burns down, and then Malibu's burnt like 12 times since I've been in L.A., and they just keep moving there. I don't get it. Let's move to a place that catches fire. Let's spend $25 million on a house. There's one road in, Pacific Coast Highway, one road out, over the cliffs, over to the 101, one road in, one road out, burns. Let's move there. Malibu. I think it's all because they want the address. They want the address. They want the zip code. They got to impress people they don't know. If you had all the money in the world, why would you pick a place that burns? But people are people, and they're going to do what people do. Now, let us hear what is coming up for you in the future. I think this podcast, has to end. It just can't. It can't keep going.
Well, thank you. My podcast, like I said, it's called Pocket Party, the Pocket Party Podcast. And I love being on Instagram. I love following you and see what you're doing. I've been putting up new YouTube videos every week, Darren Carter channel, having a blast with that. And go to DarrenCarter.com and check
your
it
wife,
out.
Your wife is...
She's Armenian, and I've known her we've been married for 22 years.
She's not Korean?
She's not Korean.
Oh, the other guy's got a Korean wife. What's his name? The guy over at ATC's wife, I think, is Korean.
Oh, Bill Burr?
No, not Bill Burr.
Magical?
Yes. Isn't his wife Korean?
I don't remember her
Married
being
an
there.
Armenian, huh?
Armenian, yeah.
Now, your son is probably going to have a hard time getting a job with the government if he wants to work for the CIA or something, because
Well, his name is
his wife is Armenian. That's a red flag. They're going to go into her background. How long has she been in the? How long has she been in the country?
Born and raised. She's, I think.
That's what she says.
Yeah.
Can she prove it?
Second or third generation, I think.
Okay.
She was on a farm. They grew up being a farmer,
Armenian.
Yeah.
So she steals people's cell phones.
No, not that
Numbers
kind of
and stuff like that. They like that. They like getting into people's cell phones. Why is that? What's her name? First name?
Jeannie.
Jeannie.
Shout
Wonderful.
out to Jeannie.
No, I know you.
Yeah,
I know you're happily married. You got a great
Yeah.
son, and I like seeing other people's families.
Thank you.
I think it's wonderful. I don't particularly care to see him much on the social media, but that's okay. We have to see them. You don't want to show them off. But aren't you afraid of kidnappers?
No, he's in Taekwondo. He can
so
defend
he can
himself
defend
up.
himself.
Yeah.
You'd hate to have somebody send him an ear in the mail.
Ooh. Oh yeah, remember that? No, he talked about that. Dude, I want to look into that. That was great.
J. Paul Getty III. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on your
2.9
Instagram.
million for the ear.
That's
If that was
crazy.
my son, I'd say, hey, you got to give me some more proof than that.
Man.
So, Cory, you want to tell us anything before we close this podcast?
Well, stay tuned for the.
And you look great. I didn't mean to be too rough on you.
Oh no, that's all right.
But,
That's all right.
I'm under a lot of pressure to keep it moving along.
I understand. I completely understand.
I gonna
Princess
be on your
Cory
podcast?
stories.
Please. That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
I know. I'd have to have y'all on mine too.
You got a podcast also?
The Peacock of Eagle
Who
Rock.
doesn't have a podcast? The whole fucking world has. there's
Everybody
like
has one.
There's like 3 people in LA that don't do comedy. If you can talk and you can make it to the stage, you're a comic. That's it. That's it.
And if you can't get on stage, you've got a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? So tell us about what you want to tell us about.
No, that's it. That's it.
Well, we didn't hear it. Go ahead.
Oh no, by all means. The Peacock of Eagle Rock, Princess Cory stories. I actually don't have anyone interrupting me, so that's exciting. But
That's a nice rhyme.
And who do you do it with?
right now it's not out yet. But right now I'm with Jeffrey Scott from the World Famous Comedy Store.
You were a nice guest. I want to thank you for coming. I definitely want to thank you for coming. It's not easy to get guests. There's not many people that want to talk to me, number one. Number two, people have schedules. They're doing things in a day, or they're out of town. Brian is having a hard time getting people that want to talk to me. So if you're a regular person, I think I mentioned this in episode 1 last time. If you're a regular person with a grievance, an occupation, an interesting story, you're going to be in Los Angeles. You can messenger me the dates you're going to be in LA, and maybe we can get a regular person who's not in show business that has a real job, and you can tell us about all those things if you don't want your identity known, so you can badmouth your coworkers and where you work. We can do that. We'll put you in the corner, stuff your face in the corner, and you can talk to us on
Oh
the
yeah,
mic.
give him like a ski mask or something.
Yeah, I was going to do that with Cory, but she got very dressed up nice, and she didn't need it. I think I got a.
Wait, I wasn't listening. What was I gonna
I think
get?
I've got a tapeworm growing out of my teeth. Thank you, Brian, again for a wonderful episode.
Thank you, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, stay humble if you can. It's not easy. If you're pissed off, it's because you're not humble. So it's not about anything about. It's about spirituality, but not a religious spirituality. If you're not spiritually fit, everything bothers you. Everything bothers you. And if you are spiritually fit, nothing bothers you. Nothing. There could be 1,000,000. We got to end this podcast.
No, you're right. He's right about that. I need to hear more of that. Keep going.
Yeah, nothing
True.
will bother you. There could be 50 million people climbing over the wall in San Diego coming into America. And if you're spiritually fit, you would not be bothered one iota. Just as an example.
Yeah.
You've only got one life. We're only just passing through. We're only just visitors. Enjoy yourself.
I got a question for you. I asked you, hey, do 25 push-ups, 25 sit-ups a
I
day.
wish we could get to that.
What? No, but I got a
Do we have
question.
time for that last question?
I got a
Brian?
question. How can I be like you? What is there something that you do every day to keep yourself spiritually fit? Like, is there like
Like
something-
stop shooting heroin.
You stop shit, or something
good.
that we could do to be like, you know what, he's right.
Well, you got to work on yourselves. I'm not saying it's easy, but you got to be present. You're not worrying about the future. You're happy with what you have today.
Yeah.
You're living in the moment. It's like
In the way
it's like
station.
Brian REDBAN is a person who I believe is living moment to moment in the moment. He's got a bunch of things. He's busy as all heck. He's doing Kill Tony. He's doing this. He's with that Joe Rogan character. And you know, he's doing a lot of things. His time is very valuable, but he's very, very relaxed. He's very user friendly, and that's because he's moving moment to moment living. And people that you see don't live moment to moment. Those are the people that are upset. Those are the people who are blowing horns. Those are the people who are sending food back. Those are the people who are getting mad at this person. You can get mad at people all day long, and some people enjoy it. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Are we gonna play what music? Are you gonna play some
Is
jazz?
that very deep?
All right, we got some jazz music. So have a little sex while we end this episode. Or in my case, I'm just gonna whip it out and I'm gonna masturbate to the jazz music.
to his own podcast.
See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.